Now, something that's been on my mind recently, and you probably have heard me mention it throughout different reviews that I've done over the past couple of anime seasons, is how I kind of feel like the way the anime community is anymore, there isn't a lot of discussion on non-mainstream shows anymore. And what I mean is how, and it's not really a YouTube problem, which is originally what I thought it was, because YouTube changes algorithms all the time, so maybe just certain things just don't click as they used to. But despite my indifference towards something like r/anime on Reddit, I've always viewed it as a useful tool on gauging how the anime community on the Western side views certain shows. And there's always shows that would get like 1,000 upvotes or close to it, hundreds and hundreds of comments on shows that weren't just the Mushoku Tenseis, the Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titans of the season. But anymore, it feels like shows that I look at quality-wise, I'm like, this is no different than shows even a couple of seasons back I saw so many people discuss, and I'm not exactly sure what changed, and I wanted to make this video for no real reason, but just to ask the question, what happened? Because I constantly see it in my own comment section about people saying, damn, what a stacked anime season. So I know it's not just me enjoying shows more than many people. Hell, I'm literally not watching certain shows that people are raving about. Like, it feels like we're in the best time ever for anime, and even on days where there isn't a lot of things airing, it just feels like, I don't know, at this point, I'm kind of wondering if a show like Fruits Basket was to actually air today, would it still have the same passionate following as it did when I was covering it? And it may seem weird to say that because Fruits Basket, amazing show, amazing anime, great manga, passionate fan base, but in a weird way, when I look at it, I kind of understand. Devil's a part-timer, finally coming back, everyone begging for a second season, we finally get it, not a lot of people care. I get that one because production value really wasn't anything to write home about, and subject matter-wise, it didn't have the same spark. That I get, but there's so many times where I'm now looking at things where I'm like, okay, look at Horimiya as an example. One of the biggest rom-coms that has come out in the past decade, just absolutely blew up discussion-wise. While yes, the new anime, Horimiya Pieces, is extra episodes, are they needed for the grand story? No. But you would think, well, a series like Horimiya having bonus episodes that are still unadapted chapters would still get at least half of the viewership discussion-wise, but it feels like no one watches those. It feels like, okay, we have the new Spice and Wolf anime coming out, the reboot. You assume that thing's gonna be massive because Spice and Wolf had a very passionate fan base, but I wonder, will it? It almost feels to me like we're in this age now, and it's weird. I honestly feel like video games have better discussion for lower series than anime does. Indie games and AA games, they still get passionate discussions even outside of the mainstream discussions, but it almost feels like we're at a point now where, whether on YouTube, whether on Twitter, whatever's left of that platform, Reddit, it's almost like unless there's a certain size following going into an anime season, people aren't discussing it that much. It's almost like people are afraid to try things unless there's a channel with 100,000 subs telling them to. It's like, okay, Mushoku Tensei, before it dropped, everyone said it was like the greatest isekai, so everyone checked it out. But it's like, when you have shows like My Home Hero in the previous anime season, people are like, oh, it doesn't have Demon Slayer art and animation, so we're not going to watch it, despite constantly seeing, why is there just isekai or battle shonens every season, and people sleep on it. And it's weird to me in a way, right? Because there's so many great anime this season, ranging from No Game No Life style vibes with Liar Liar. Is it No Game No Life quality? No, but that's a show that normally would do pretty well discussion-wise, even on Reddit, and it feels like not a lot of people watch that one. It's weird to me that we're at a point now, it feels like, compared to last year, where I could pull a show like Reincarnated as a Sword, and that did well for videos, people discussed that one massively, but I do have to wonder at this point, it just feels like now we're at a point where unless it's the biggest name shows, people just don't want to discuss it, and I kind of wonder if something like Reincarnated as a Sword first aired right now, would it even have the same type of discussion as it did even last year? And some people may be saying, I don't see it, I see constantly discussion. As someone who actively follows platforms like r/anime to just kind of get a gauge of what people are feeling, it feels like we're at a third of discussion of where we were at last year, and unless you're the biggest name shows, you don't get that discussion anymore. Maybe that's just me, maybe it's just my own personal bias of how I'm viewing things, but it does feel like discussion has died down a lot, and it's a shame because one of my favorite things is to discuss the anime I enjoy, but I guess it is what it is. No real point to this video, I just wanted to bring up something that's been on my mind quite a bit, which is why you'll hear me mention it in videos from time to time, but I just wanted to bring it up and maybe see if people agree with me. Like, do you find whether you discuss things on r/anime, or you watch videos, or you're on Twitter, or wherever you're at, do you feel like discussions on the smaller shows, whether, you know, the shows that aren't mainstream, they aren't the biggest blockbusters of anime, do you feel like discussion has died down on those shows and people seemingly only want to discuss the biggest shows of the season rather than discussing a handful anymore? Because that's how I'm feeling, but let me know how you're feeling down below in those comment sections. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, ring that bell of course so you can get notified when I upload more videos to the channel. And hey, I do have a Patreon where I cover all the anime I'm covering on the channel and actually more in live reaction format if you're interested, so consider supporting that if you're interested. But until next time everyone, please take care and have a good one.